Hello, and welcome all you hatters out there to another second part of Alien Isolation. Let me check to make sure everything. Yeah, it should be fine. Um, uh, so yeah, so there's. Let me see. Okay, so we've been. Okay. Um. So I guess just recap of everything. It's been maybe not, well, a recap of this game, I guess. Yeah, we just got the sensor module, so now we can use the hacking tool. So there's that. Uh, yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna recap the whole game. That's the most recent thing we've done. Um, uh, but now
Break.
that'd be here. Um, can't do that. Oh. It is. Nope. That one. That one. And then that one. Okay. Um. But anyway, like I just been a lot of things going uh on the channel. I'm not gonna read these. I'll just leave them on the screen for a little bit. Uh, but yeah. For 2013 game, yeah. Uh, I guess I don't even know if that's a real person, but um, there's no audio in there. And no utility. Cool. Uh, I still gotta turn this thing down. Yeah, the people, it still look very, when they have like the, the people and like the, actual like cutscenes and stuff. Oh, that's just the hide. Um, and the cutscenes, it's definitely shows its age. But, see. But I'll just wait until the music's gone. But yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff going on with me and the channel, and yeah. Um, yeah. But yeah, like, cause I'm trying to get the animated series going. It's a, I guess, yeah, it wouldn't be this. I guess this would be fine. It's a zombie comedy. I guess I could save. Um, uh, yeah, zombie comedy series, and I don't even know which way I'm supposed to be going the other way, but I just disabled security. So this way. No, upstairs. But yeah, so that's one thing that I'm trying to get going. Um, I'm trying to do more streaming stuff, obviously. With this week trying to stream a decent amount. Whoop, crap. Uh, uh, I'm probably gonna die for this, but yeah, there's a gun floating. I don't know what's going on. What is going on with these guns? I think that's where um um okay, so this needs a plasma torch. Um but yeah, so trying to get the animated series going. Try to get the first episode out. Okay. There it is. Cool. Yeah, it's gonna kill me. Hello. Um. Look here, save. Yeah, well, where did it? Okay. Okay. Um. But yeah, this is I'm trying to do more stuff with streaming. Eventually I'd like to stream with other people, others but that's gonna be a while from now because I need to get that set up. Um, oh, that's my breath. I was like, what is that noise? Um, so let's see, it would be I don't know where the thing would be right now. There it is. Which means downstairs should be fine. Okay. Um, let's do this. And there should be something I can override somewhere. Oh. Yep. Okay. So, let's see. Oh, motion tracker. I forgot about that thing. Uh, yep, there it is. Why? Why did you come up? You were like walking away. Okay. Oh well. Okay. Well, I have to go back in there anyway because that's where all the locked doors are. Yep. So let's see. Um. Oh yeah. Oh, you are delightful. That's annoying. That was like, oh, gosh, that was unfortunate. Um, no, not that one. Good. Is this way? No. Or nope. Okay.
Someone there? Hey, over there!
Why? Dude, there's more issues than me, dude. Yep. And I'm getting eaten too. Cool. At least I know that it doesn't actually like distract them whenever they're attacking one of those guys. Dang it. Come on. Oh, come on. How am I supposed to get this thing? Well, I've died in probably like every unique way, so at least there's that. Um, it's up in there. Oh, come on. Dude, you are the worst. And he goes after me immediately. Or she, I guess. Let's see. This would be... So... There's no stairs up here, and even then, that would be... like... suicide. I'd have to go these stairs, yeah. I think I'll hide in the vent for a little bit. There we go. Whew.
All visitors must report to reception.
Hello? My name's Ripley. Amanda Ripley. I need your help.
Please take a seat. Someone will be with you shortly.
No wonder Seegson is losing the tech race.
That's locked. Um.
You can trust our working Joes. Always there, always helpful, always working for you. Our synthetics are made to be simple. No emotional simulations, no life real qualities. They just work for you, so you can get on with your life in perfect peace of mind. Working Joes. Brilliantly simple and simply brilliant.
Oh, shit. Whew. Whew. Sorry. It needs a key card. And I don't have anything to.
Comfort and reassurance. Our working Joe synthetics are designed to be instantly recognizable. Surveys have shown that consumers are often uncomfortable dealing with advanced human real
Can I help you?
I need to get into comms control. It's urgent.
That is a restricted area.
It's an emergency. Don't you realize what's going on?
Apollo has the situation in hand. Your registration is almost complete.
Forget it. I'll find my own way in.
I wouldn't advise it.
Some kind of tracker. It's been modified.
Is there a problem?
No, no problem.
See what this is. Uh. Light and air purifier. I don't need a speaker system really.
making my way to Siegs and Communications now. I didn't wake you because I knew you'd try and stop me. Please understand, this is our best shot. Someone has got to reestablish communications. We need to make sure the officials back at home know what's going on here. Don't worry about me. I'll be back. I'm not gonna leave you and Claire alone.
Let's see. See. That's not everything. That's where I came back through. It's over here. Something for that.
Let me in. I need to contact my ship.
Sorry, I can't allow that. Ripley, Amanda, you have now been locked with Apollo. Welcome to Sevastopol.
There's gotta be another way inside.
Let me pass. It's me, Hughes. Don't you recognize me? Listen to me. We've got to reestablish long-range communications.
You're becoming hysterical.
Get back! I'm warning you!
Tut, tut. This is always Alchemy.
Oh my god.
$6.51. Let's see.
With Season, there's someone behind you, helping you every single step of the way.
Let's see.
We hope you'll join us for the journey.
See where I can craft though. Um,
All visiting corporate representatives must report to their nearest synthetic. calls.
Uh, okay. I just gain access to.
Interested in our working
Come on.
So I'm not sure what else to talk about like right now.
Central Communications Hub. Seeks an employees only.
This is the lady on the torrents. What the hell just happened? Sevastopol! Did any of our EVAs even account for it? Please respond. Taken damage in the explosion and are pulling out of Sevastopol space. Systems will be down while we repair. I can't say for how long.
Um, but um,
I can't help you if I can't find you. Core duties have been neglected. Okay.
um, so yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I can talk about before. Um,
External communications disabled by order of Apollo. Facility offline. All outgoing communications halted.
That's just great.
Internal communications open on limited channels.
Maybe someone on the station I can contact.
Um, yeah, I'm just trying to think of some other stuff that I can talk about right now. Like I mentioned oh yeah, I mentioned that there's the okay, the animated series. I've got the Patreon set up for on it should be linked in my Twitch and on my YouTube uh channel. So um yeah, that if you want to donate, want to help out, try to uh that'd be greatly appreciated. Um okay, let's get over to this direction. It's probably where I need to go. Right. But yeah, Ion Torch. Uh, okay.
Log and soul recording. Seeks and access only.
Let's see. Gonna feed. Oh, wait. Um, Ow. What? Is that? Oh. Yep. Yep. Oh, crap. That's a long way away. Um, um,
Another clear waste of our seasons of time. Hello. Who's there? What are you doing here?
okay, I'm lost. I need to load last one. 'Cause I don't remember how it's supposed to. Let's see. Whoop. Okay. Okay, map.
Why not ask me about Sevastopol's safety protocols?
Let's see. Let's see. There's something. Yeah, up here. That's what it was.
External communications disabled by order of Apollo. Facility offline. All outgoing communications halted.
That's just great.
Internal communications
Um,
open unlimited channels.
Gotta be someone on the station I can contact.
see what's on this. Or not. I don't know what my controller.
This is the commercial vessel Torrens out of St. Clair, registration number MSV7760, calling Sevastopol Traffic Control. We're carrying 3 passengers on a Wayland-Yutani bond. You're holding the Nostromo flight recorder unit. We request immediate permission to transfer the passengers portside over. This is Verlaine on the Torrens. What the hell just happened? Sevastopol! Did any of our EVA team make it on board? Please respond. We've taken damage in the explosion and are pulling out of Sevastopol space. Systems will be down while we repair. I can't say for how long.
This is Waits, Colonial Marshal at Sebastopol Station. We have a serious situation here. Non-local comms are down, and we need you to send out an emergency message. Do you read me? Repeat, our ranged communications are down, and we need help. Stand off and send help.
So, why is this going like this? Let me use a different roller. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I'll save that way I don't have to go through that again. I'm sure there's probably like an achievement for saving or not saving at all or whatever. But I'm not really worried about that. There we go. Come on. Uh, oh, it's going. Yeah, I need to go down that way. Wow, really? What's going on with this thing? Damn it. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, this is not gonna go well. Yeah, this is not gonna go well. That took like. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just end it. Yeah. There we go. So we saved. So we just need to go to this side. Um, yeah, that's all I can do right now. What am I doing? Yep. Okay. Yeah. What was? That's weird. It was just like glitching out for a sec. Uh. So let's. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could probably talk about a lot of stuff, like what shows I'm watching and stuff like that. I just don't know if it would be interesting conversation. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, but uh, yeah, built that. But yeah, I mean, like I've been watching a couple of things recently. Like I have been, I did just last night catch up with the boys, this season of the boys. Still, there's some questionable decisions, like just in general. And they don't, and honestly, I'm not even talking about certain things that some people are upset about the show, but honestly, my biggest complaint is that uh some of the stuff that they do just seems like random for the sake of being random. Especially in the last couple of episodes. Um, but there he is. And it doesn't feel like it contributes to like any meaningful thing other than just like like they could have told the story in a completely different but then or in a different way, but they chose to make it random just or they chose to do something random just because they wanted to have like a shock value thing.
Repeat, we need help urgently.
And it didn't.
Full recording. Seek zone access
It
only.
wasn't really a shock value thing, and it was more just a stupid again, it just felt stupid and felt not or completely pointless. Oh Jesus. Ugh. Come on. Uh let's see. Uh Wait. Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, it needs to be there.
Samuels! You're alive! It's Ripley!
Ripley! Taylor, it's Ripley. We were getting worried.
I made it! Where are you?
We're at a transit station now. It's right by medical.
Okay. Samuels, listen to me. It's not safe here. Seegson's got this place locked tight. They're goddamn androids are killing people!
That's impossible. It's contrary to primary synthetic programming.
I've seen it, Samuels. I guess Seegson's got a different idea about synthetics. And there's something else here. A creature. It's big and it's lethal.
Ripley, slow down. A creature?
It's a life form. An unknown type. Some kind of alien organism. It's extremely dangerous. You and Taylor need to
Ripley,
make...
Taylor is hurt. She was injured by debris during the crossing.
How bad?
I can't move her. I need medical supplies. We need to treat and pack the
And the
injury.
Torrens?
The radio is broken. I can't contact Verlaine. We're on our own.
Shit. Okay. I'll come to you. Keep your eyes open.
I'll send a transit car to you.
Unauthorized communication. Please leave command hatches
Shit.
This area is restricted, and I know you're here. Come out, please. You are making me lose company time.
Do it.
I will find you. Are you playing a game with me? I know you're not. You're being played.
Shit. I probably should have saved. What? Come on.
I just want to help.
Oh, come on. Uh,
Follow me.
oh, come on. Well, that's it. Yeah, actually, let's just load game. See where that is. Because is this really this far? Yeah, okay, that wasn't a good idea. But let's see. But yeah, this is where I need to get back to. Noisemaker might be a good thing to try to use.
Help me every single step of the way. Synthetic stay is never done.
Oh, come on.
I found you.
Oh, come on.
You'll become
Let's just load game. Uh, huh. Oh, wow. That's it. Where's this go? Uh, oh, that goes back to where, yeah, it's fine. Um,
where are you going?
wow, jeez. Oh, come on. Oh, Let's do this. Here we go.
Sebastopol, this is Wayland-Yutani Executive Administrator Nina Taylor, confirming receipt of your transmission. I'm a member of the team assigned to collect the Nostromo flight recorder. The black box in your possession is of primary importance to Wayland-Yutani. Under existing corporate agreements, we should remind you that you must not attempt to read its contents, nor disclose its presence to any third parties. We'll be with you soon. A private message from Marshal Waits will follow.
It's Ripley!
Ripley! Taylor, it's Ripley. We were getting worried.
I made it! Where are you?
We're at a transit station now. It's right by medical.
Okay. Samuels, listen to me. It's not safe here. Seegson's got this place locked tight. Their goddamn androids are killing people!
That's impossible. It's contrary to primary synthetic
Well,
programming.
I've already seen this, so there's no reason to.
Shit.
GNR interrupt engaged. Stand by. GNR interrupt engaged. Stand by.
I'm just trying to see if I can't just bomb rush it and just kind of escape.
This is Central Communications. Seeks and employees only. All visitors must report to reception.
Ah, okay. Now. Oh. That doesn't seem right. What is this on? Over there. Yep, okay. Let's see what this map look like. let's load back here and then try to. I think this might be the last thing for this part.
Shit.
Oh shoot! This was before. Okay.
You're still here.
DNR interrupt engaged. Stand by.
Shouldn't be here.
This is Central Communications. Seeks and employees only. All visitors must report to reception.
There's no need for this. Please, calm down. Now. You're starting to test my patience.
Hmm. Turn Thursday's palms to escape.
Apollo did reporting a good service throughout Sevastopol.
He's gotta go.
Interested in our working Jorak range.
Gotta sneak faster.
All visiting corporate representatives must report to their nearest synthetic.
see. Oh, so I guess I was talking about like other certain about certain shows that I've been watching. I mean, uh, like I was saying, The Boys is one that I've always been kind of watching. Let me do this. Just straight. First, let's do that. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess, let's see if this is no cutscene. Okay. Okay. Wondering why I couldn't search him. Makes a lot more sense now. Okay, let's grab this. Okay. And we can save. Alright, I don't know if this is gonna be. Let's see. Should this be the end? No, it's not a long. Let me see. No, it's not really a long episode, but um, let me just see what's in here.
Station serving Seeks and Communication Technologies, tech support
Speaker.
services, and Gemini Exoplanet Solutions.
All right.
We are extremely sorry for the current disruption in services.
This is like hide and seek. This is fun. Oh, well, it was until that moment. Okay. Hey, hey. Yeah, let me see. Was it take transit to? Okay.
Station serving Seeks and
Let me
Communication
get to this
Technologies,
side
tech
because this
support
should be a.
services, and Gemini Exoplanet Solutions.
Okay, yeah, this is the fourth mission. So this is the end of this. So this should take me to a cutscene. Hopefully. But that was the end of this mission, at least. So
Station serving the San Cristobal Medical Facility and Seeks and Synthetics.
Ripley? Is that Ripley?
Try and rest, Taylor.
How is she?
She needs treatment. Medical's nearby, but I didn't want to leave her.
I'll go and investigate. See what I can find. You stay with her.
I'll try to repair the radio booster. What if this creature shows up?
Hide.
Unauthorized security breach detected. All transit shut down by order of Apollo.
okay, there's a save. I think I'm gonna call it here. I know this is a little shorter than usual, but unfortunately, I think I don't want to get too far into this section. I feel like that's a good place to end it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff when it comes to just streaming stuff I'd want to do more of. Like I said, eventually I'd love to get more streamers involved and try to play something uh play some kind of a co-op or some game with other streamers. But as of right now, it's just kind of a lot of stuff is taking my time from the animated series, which you can help support through Patreon. Link is in my YouTube and on my Twitch. If it doesn't look like you can, if uh if there's still problems with it, just let me know on either. Just leave a comment on like YouTube or something. I'll try to fix it if there's anything. Right now, that's one of the things that's like trying to get everything set up for that. It's been a tough. It's been tough to find time to do that, along with all the other stuff that I want to do. And all the stuff that I need to do with like working and stuff like that. So it's been hard to find time doing all that, plus trying to stream every once in a while. I do like doing this uh, once a day each week, but it is or once a day uh each month. I mean, this like week long thing, or at least for streaming like 4 or 5 days a week, uh once a month. I think I want to keep doing that, but it's kind of difficult to maintain that for it would be difficult to maintain that for a on a monthly basis. So um while I think I can do that once a month each or one week out of the month. It's gonna be it'd be a lot more difficult to try to what is this? Does that say a box or is that a hiding spot?
Stay with me, Taylor. Ripley's finding help.
Oh, yeah, that's cool to know. I'll um but yeah, hopefully that will do it. I'll be able to do that a little bit more and stream a little bit more. Um plus work on the animated series is I want to try to do that more and try to I need to honestly this week I need to do more stuff with that. So so a lot I don't know how much that's gonna take away from streaming and doing stuff like that. But again, hopefully I can be more consistent with streaming soon, and obviously with like doing this and then doing the Fallout randomizer, I'm still going to continue doing that, but it's just going to be more of a one day out of the week or one day every once in a while type thing. Depending on how far I get in this game for uh um uh depending on how long I get in this game through this week, uh because I'll probably try to play this through Saturday, and then I'll probably and then I'm gonna hope hopefully do Fallout on Sunday, but that's just it depends on how much it's gonna or how much time it's gonna take. And I would like to do that where it's like if I am going to stream on the weekends, it's uh but yeah, always as always like life can get kind of in the way of stuff. So just depends on how often I'll be able to stream. Obviously, with August coming up, I do the anime August, and that's gonna be taking over once August comes around. But hopefully, I can get this and maybe even the Fallout randomizer done by uh by that time. So we can just kind of start in August with the anime stuff. But I don't. Again, I don't know if I can get something together with other streamers in August. I might be able to do something. Uh, or I might be able, if I can kind of organize that at some point uh next month. I might do something special with Anime August this year, aside from just playing anime games. So hopefully that could be an option. Um, I would also like to get back to talking about uh, like others. What is it? Talking about other shows and stuff like that. I usually do the like probably around this length of video of um what is it, the like just whatever, like the fan casting and all that stuff, kind of what and I haven't posted anything like that in a while, or like future season discussion or whatever. I haven't done that in a while. I would like to do that. Maybe I can do stuff like that in the middle um of a video or something. Um, like kind of today I talked about the boys, but I didn't really get into specifics, and I don't really like to get into specifics when it comes to mainly because I want to avoid spoilers. Um, but yeah, I mean this season I will say with this season of The Boys, watching it, it's there's some aspects I don't understand when people are saying that it's like, oh, it's only attacking, or not, but like it's like that's gone. I don't know, like that. It's kind of like I could see like there's definitely a lot of subplots that kind of go nowhere. It seems like, um, and I don't even think Frenchie's subplot is went nowhere. I think it's going someplace to develop him more as a character and try to hopefully he can sort of address the sort of self-destructive behavior that he's kind of always had. But I think it's kind of leaning more into that direction. But it was a weird thing or it was just kind of like a lot of it was just a weird decision by him at the beginning of this season to start out with. Yeah, a lot of it was just a weird decision for him. Um, but yeah, like, and it was a weird decision by the directors and writers and everything too. Um, but I think, uh, there's also a lot of other things that are distracting about this season. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of points in this story where it's like this didn't need to be this long. Like this episode didn't need to be this long, or this didn't need to be a this situation scenario didn't need to happen for this full episode. I think last week's episode, or maybe this week's episode, or maybe 2 weeks ago episode, whatever. But that one very much could have been condensed to like one of the plots could have been condensed down to like a scene, and I don't understand why they dragged it out. It just seemed unnecessary to drag it out so long. And that's kind of where, in my opinion, the writing has kind of suffered this season. Is that they'll something that should just be a scene, a quick funny scene, is drawn out for like an entire episode, and it's like why? uh I mean, honestly, sometimes it's not even a funny scene. It's just kind of a stupid scene. Like I said, with that one of the more recent episodes, it's just kind of a stupid scene, and it's like this is kind of dumb. Um, but yeah, I mean, it does feel like yeah, like some of those scenarios are like a little dumb. But I mean, there's some other things that I do like about this season. I think some of the major plots, Huey's storyline in this season is kind of a roller coaster. Um, Whether that be good or bad, it's still tough to tell at this point. But yeah, Huey's story is pretty interesting this season, but I don't know. It's there's some things that kind of are uh like it can be really good at some in some points, but then it can be like why like I don't know. Like it almost feels like they've got different writers, and that might be the case. Like somebody who wrote a certain episode is like did not watch or pay attention to the last episode and the build up to that episode, and it feels very inconsistent in some situations. Uh, but I do legitimately like some of the character development of Huey and even Frenchie this season. Some of the character development, because I kind of had a suspicion that I think what I said earlier, where it was less about the relationship that he was in at the beginning of the season, and more about him addressing certain self-destructive tendencies. And I think that is kind of where it's going, and that's the direction it's heading. But it's also kind of a weird direction it's heading because it went in a direction that I didn't expect it to go. And I think it's cool, but I think it also is going to limit the amount of screen time that Frenchie gets, which is unfortunate. Now, if that's just based on what the actor wants, then that's fine, but it just feels a little like this, like we might not get to see Frenchie for a while in this what happens in this recent season. Um but I'm just like walking around and not doing a thing. But yeah, I mean that's kind of a, I don't know. Homelander's story is interesting, but also kind of, I don't know. It's just kind of like it's been done 1,000 times. I don't know. Like a similar situation has been done like 1,000 times. Like I'm curious how they're gonna make it unique. Um, with his story. Um, but it's definitely interesting. Um, Starlight this season, I couldn't care less. Um, and it's unfortunate, but that's kind of how it. I mean, she's kind of like a lot of this season has been them having to address like certain things in their past, which to me makes it extra weird that they decided to, because the essentially the main characters, the good guys, are having to face the ghosts of their past and all the sins that they, or the, whether it be the sins they've done or all the bad stuff in the past is coming to light. So it's weird for uh this to be also the season where the directors are like gatekeeping and saying if you uh are a Homelander fan or whatever, then stop watching or whatever. And first off, I just don't like that whole gatekeeping aspect of it, where it's like, oh, you can't enjoy something because it's making fun of you or something like that, or it's making fun of. Which, first off, the idea of it being making fun of is it does take pot shots at both sides. So, but I mean, and I think a lot of art is up to the reader's interpretation, especially like, or the viewer's interpretation. Um, so like I think there are definitely moments in this season that can be uh like they definitely poke fun at a lot more right wing stuff. And that's absolutely the case. And some of that stuff is hit and miss, in my opinion. Um, but a lot of it's, but yeah, like I think, but there's also like, I think this last episode was really good and like having a like legitimate corporate or conversation about like uh our about politics in general, and it didn't really lean one way or the other on politics in this particular instance. It was just kind of like a general statement in this most recent episode, uh which was actually quite refreshing because there's so much and I think it's something that a lot of people can agree upon. Um that and it's just sick how that without getting too much into politics and stuff like that because I don't want to do that. But yeah, it's just a very interesting perspective on how yeah, the recent episode is really good at providing that idea of things. And I feel like people got distracted by uh Huey's situation in this most recent episode. But um yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were distracted by that, like by Huey's what happened to Huey in this recent episode. But I think the overall message that in of what they said about how politics and and the social aspect of how it's being run and all that stuff about modern politics and the criticism there. It's really interesting. Um, and I think it is a very uh eye opening scene. I think it does a great job of doing that. But I think I don't know. I'm talking to about the boys way too much right now. Um, which actually, now that I look at that, Thor's ruin. We haven't really had a Thor character in Iron Man, or not Iron Man, in the boys. I would love that. I don't know how he would fit, and especially not where this season. I think next season are probably going to go. But that makes me disappointed that we haven't seen a Thor character. Okay. Anyway, but but yeah, that's kind of I think there's a lot of interesting stuff like in the works, but ultimately I think a lot of it's been executed not to the best extent that it could have been in future in past seasons. I like the soup storyline with Sister Sage and some of the other new members of the Seven, which probably is a spoiler, but you know what. But yeah, those stories are really interesting. And those characters are the new characters in the Seven are actually very interesting. Uh, but yeah, again, like I said, it's weird that this season is the season that they're like, no, you're supposed to hate the like that the writers are like, you're supposed to hate the superhero the Seven characters and you're supposed to be cheering for the boys characters when the boys characters in this season are going through some crazy existential crap about their own like like morality. um so it's just a weird situation to set that up to be like um to set that up this season, and I think that might just be ultimately them trying to drum up like more controversy, which I don't like them trying to. I don't like that aspect of advertising where it's like you'll make people like trying to make people hate watch it like that to me also never goes well. Never. Well, I mean, it'll drive up their viewership, but it's like that's just such a mean thing to just do that to your fans, or even just even if you don't agree. And I can also say you can with it's I find the like anyone that actually is saying like that Homelander's right and stuff like that, or stuff the weird context of that. Like, I don't know what you're trying to prove or what you're trying to like that's a weird thing if people are like legitimately saying it. Now that being said, you can like Homelander as a villain. Like, I think that is okay, but you still have to acknowledge that he is a villain in the series. Anyone that's kind of like, if people are like legitimately saying that Homelander is right and certain or stuff like that, and like weird stuff like that. Um, but I think it's also weird because they've tried to super hyper compare, like they've tried to compare him too much to an actual person, and like it's when like they're yeah, and it's like when you're making this character do all this crazy like evil stuff, and then you're trying to also compare him to a real life person, it's kind of a weird situation to do that with. Like, I'm like, that's kind of disturbing that you like that's to me that's what it's just a weird perspective. Like, you know, like again, regardless, especially just because you disagree with them politically or something. Like that's to me is like, why do you hate somebody just because of their political? I don't know. Um, that's that. I'm probably getting too far into politics, but like, and yeah, like to be fair, I don't like either of our options politically, and this year. But it is what it is. That's what's going on. Which I think, honestly, it makes this season like with this backdrop, like one of the most recent episodes. It makes that episode a lot more like stand out a little bit more. With this like that kind of like the one where I just talked about where it had a really interesting take on like American politics, like especially whenever right now we're like I live in America, so America is kind of in a situation where it's like we've got two options and leaders that neither one are that great. I think that's fair to say. Um, and the thing is like some of the stuff that's said in in that is like it registers true with a lot of people in the most recent what the most recent episode says. It rings true. Um because there's just I think it's a speech by Newman basically. I'll at least say that it's one of Newman's speeches. It's a speech that Newman says in this most recent episode. So yeah. not like a public speech, but yeah, it's just something she says. It's kind of a monologue uh in that, which is really interesting. And it is like when we talk about like current affairs and everything, it is very like poignant. So I'm glad I didn't like wait to watch this, because I was originally planning to wait just because I didn't like the that idea of just saying of like that gatekeeping idea, what that the what was it, the um oh, like I mentioned, that like gatekeeping marketing tactic that they're using, um just to get people to hate watch, I guess. I don't know. um but yeah, like, I mean, I guess that's the play there. um but I don't know. I don't think that there's been anything too crazy about this season that like is like I said, most of them like they can have like some story, like like some stuff should like is written to where it should have just been a single scene and then they just move on, but they drag it out for like an entire episode, and there's no real reason for them to drag situations like that out for more episodes other than they just want, or for longer episodes other than just and honestly, that to me that just feels like they were just stalling, so they had to drag something out to write it. And it's like that's never a good idea when it comes to story writing. Is just dragging things out. Yeah, when you take like, hey, let's take this one idea and stretch it out across an entire episode. And I'm like, but this was only supposed to be like a single scene. And I'm like, yeah, but we want to stretch it out for an entire episode because we want to. Yeah, it that just feels like that's where this season, for some episodes, they've just kind of stretched too much. Um, and that's some of my legitimate criticism of it. Uh, is like that some of the stuff, like when it hits, but like I said, this most recent episode has some really good moments with um Newman and like some of the other characters as well. Huey's story has been really good until, I guess, until the most recent. I don't know. The most recent episode had some weird stuff with Huey, but I don't know. He's going through some stuff. Um, so um, yeah, and but this season is also like I said, a lot of the characters are going through their like dark phases. So, well, not dark phases, but yeah, like they're kind of, oh man, hard to describe, but like they're having to deal with some of the things in their pasts. So it again, it's for the writers to say, you're not supposed to like the superheroes, you're supposed to like the human characters, or the boys specifically. um and then the boys characters are like doing some really messed up stuff. Like, yeah, like they both are doing messed up stuff. It's just what the end goals are. It's one is to take down uh the yeah, yeah, like yeah, in uh with the superheroes, it's like they're just purely evil, and the other ones, it's like it's in order to, it's like supposed a means justify the ends type of situation that a lot of the characters are dealing with, uh where it's like they have to kind of come to terms with that they're doing bad stuff, even though it's for uh what they see as a good cause. I also don't know how I feel about A Train's story this season. It's something that's like, I don't necessarily think this character deserves, I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation. I'm not a big, like, I think A Train's kind of a dick. And he's always kind of been that. Um so them so this season is like he's less of a dick. Um uh Without, I don't want to give too much away. Um but it's I don't know. I don't I was kind of hoping for more of a confrontation between him and Huey, and it kind of felt the way it left it off was kind of anticlimactic. Uh, which I could say a lot about this season. The way certain things ended was kind of anticlimactic, or certain character stories ended in very anticlimactic ways, which is unfortunate. Um, but yeah, I mean that's kind of where it's at. Like it's tough for me because it's like I'm trying to think of when the what season The Boys was like really good. Um Season 3 was pretty good, but it started leaning heavy into the political caricatures. Um uh I think season 2 is probably where season 2 and maybe like the beginning of the early parts of season 3 were probably like the best or the best parts. Um but yeah, it's I'm enjoying The Boys, but it's like also I realize that's not as good as it used to be. It's not like, but there are definitely still sparks of where it used to be. I also just, like I said, the marketing decision of just saying, if you like the yeah, like essentially stop watching if you um like Homelander or whatever, which again, there's a difference between people that are liking Homelander, and honestly, I feel like a lot of people that are saying like that, oh yeah, Homelander, like the Homelander is right thing, stuff, or Homelander based or whatever. Honestly, I feel like a lot of that is trolling. Um, but and I feel like the majority of people do recognize that he is a villain, but they can still like a villain. Like, one of my favorite characters of all time is the Riddler. Um, that doesn't mean I think he's a good person or like that. That's one of that's my biggest. That's what I find really frustrating when people say, because I'm like, where are you drawing the line? Because it's like you can like a character that's a villain. Like the Joker is also a really good villain, but everybody can agree. Like, yeah, you can have say the Joker is your favorite character, but also be like, yeah, but he's not like a role model or anything. Like, stop treating him like he's supposed to be a role model. Um, which ironically in this season, uh, Homelander is more of a role model for Ryan uh than anyone, which is not a good thing, but he has become more of a role model for that. Role model for him. Uh, so the moment, yes. So I don't know. It's just like it's just weird for them to really be like, oh, you shouldn't like Homelander. You shouldn't be watching this if you're a fan of Homelander. But it's like, so they you can only hate a character that you wrote. Like, and like I said, it's weird that um like again, you can have uh yeah, you can like a villain and the way the character's portrayed and all this other stuff, uh and still acknowledge that they are a bad person, like that they are evil. And yeah, like I said, sometimes like if it like the Joker is like unashamedly evil, but people still like him, and it's not supposed like yeah, it's interesting that people are again, I don't know how much is just straight trolling when it comes to people saying that like, oh yeah, like I agree with what Homelander says or some shit like that. Um, but yeah, like it's yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's just like again, it's hard to tell what's troll, especially with the internet the way it is. It's hard to tell what's trolling and what's actually serious. So the fact that they're trying to deliberately create this situation where it's like if you are yeah like you shouldn't watch it if you think Homelander's whatever or whatever, and it's like are you falling for the trolls like like because it's like I don't believe like I don't know if there's anyone I think the ironically I think people started like obviously they acknowledge that Homelander is uh a bad person. I think anyone can acknowledge that. But the problem is I think they're trying to compare him to a real life person, and that's where I think people are trying to that's why people are trolling more and saying that they like him at no that they agree with everything he says and stuff like that because they're trying to compare him to a real life person, and it's like that's where it starts to become uh a bit of an issue. And yeah, so I just and yeah, like regardless of where you are in politics, like fiction is fiction and real life is and yeah, like you got to acknowledge that this is at the end of the day this is a fictional story, and though it's definitely got some real acknowledgement of like um, of real world politics, and it acknowledges a lot of different stuff. At the end of the day, the character is the character is not is just the character, you know. Um, the character is uh just kind of like the character is still defined by the context of the world he lives in, and the problem is they're trying to is I feel like the writers are really trying to push uh that no, this character is representative of like real world person, and this is how you all act, and it's like, then I'm like, okay, now you're just being weird. But yeah, like I just find it really weird. I honestly just don't understand why there has to be such when it comes to politics, why is like people are so divided on stuff like that, and why there's so much on both sides of the political aisle, why there's so much like hate. And the fact that also just saying both sides of the political aisle, why is there only two sides? This is one of the most frustrating things I've had to do it. I feel like in American politics or any politics in general is that there's such limited options, and most of the options. I would say go watch the most recent episode because they make a really good case about that whole scenario when it comes to like how limited options are. I mean, honestly, that's why I wish the independent party was more had more of a had more sway, and maybe that'll happen in this election or even future elections, and maybe like it'll shift towards more of an independent platform. And I wish they had an actual like platform for independent um parties, but pretty much independent parties are just kind of like there is no such thing really as like a unified independent party. They're just like people that decided that they didn't want to be a Republican or a Democrat, so they just chose to be independent. And that's pretty much where they're just tired of the two party system, so they just they just register as independent. Um and that's unfortunate because that there's not any sort of unified decision on uh there's no real unified decision on like on in a sort of like an actual third party. It's just sort of like, well, well, I don't want to be associated with this side or this side, so I'm just gonna be an independent. And it's like it's hard to rally around. Well, at least it's not this. At least it's not the Democrat or Republican. And it's like it's hard to push a rallying cry. Like hard for an independent candidate to really uh unify people when their their whole platform is just or their whole the reason they became independent is just because they didn't want to be part of one party or the other, and it's hard for them to really gain any sort of like traction in a sort of like a real unify like a real way and try to unify a base. I'm talking politics way too much right now. But yeah, it's the boys just kind of got me on that train of thought. um but yeah, I think this season's not as good as some of the previous seasons. I think, um, but I also don't understand. It's not like as in your face with. I don't think it's as in your face as they tried to make it sound. Um, with when it comes to and I think honestly this season does have a lot of like criticisms about the characters of the boys, like the boys on the boys side, which is like there's a lot of like legitimate like things with them that is really uh that's kind of really kind of gotten into. And now I've kind of gone way over time just talking about the boys and sadly politics, but I don't know. It's it's tough one way or the other. Like on the political spectrum, it's tough one way or the other. I don't know. It's just a weird situation we're in right now, as an American. Um, and I wish there were better options. But I mean that's just I mean, but that's kind of always been the case with politics, but like I wish there were better options of candidates. There hasn't really been any good candidates in a while. And I'm just gonna be real here. Uh this is the fourth election I've been able to vote in. Three of those times Donald Trump has been the candidate for the Republican side. And three of those times Joe Biden has been on the ticket. So just putting that into perspective, which is insane. The fact that these two old men are just continue to just be the only candidates that are being put forth. And that's the unfortunate thing that uh that I'm trying to wrap my own head around. Um, is that it's it's crazy because it's like there hasn't really been much of a different option and than either of these two candidates for the most part. Um, but yeah, it's just weird. It's we've gotten to a weird point, but okay. Yeah, yeah, and I hear and now that this says working Joe and stuff like that, and now my brain is just like only think of like the only time I see the now every time I see the name Joe, it's just like it's gonna spiral into politics. uh, but I I hope in like 5 years that won't be the case, and we'll have kind of ignored all of that. Well, 5 years it shouldn't be the case, regardless of what happens. Uh, But yeah, like I hope that like word association will cease. Uh, maybe once everything in the political season is over. Um, but yeah, um, sorry if I went a little too political, but the boys kind of gets you talking in that direction. Um, whether you want it to or not. Uh, yeah, and I think that's honestly, I think the boys as a whole is essentially going to be it's going to be viewed as more of a product of its time because it's hard to disassociate the series without uh from away from this particular um moment in politics and like it's hard to disassociate it with modern politics, modern American politics, um, because uh, it's ingrained itself so it's in, politics has gotten so ingrained into the story. So I feel like it's something that it's going to be it would be difficult to rewatch. It'd also be difficult to watch it in another point of time like no well not another point in time but in another like um uh yeah like it would be hard to like watch it when like maybe like 20 years from now like when both these politicians are long dead um like I don't know how uh or yeah like how it like I guess Homelander is kind of its own character is his own character, but especially a lot of the like especially with the political climate that it has in general, like I feel like it's kind of shot itself and it might be really difficult to disassociate it from the modern political discourse and that future generations wouldn't be able to get it without looking at it through like a historical lens. So it's interesting, which to me makes which makes me kind of like relieved that I didn't like wait to watch it like I was originally planning to, because like I said, I just don't agree with that tactic of getting people to hate uh your stuff, getting people to hate watch a show. Um, I just don't agree with that as a tactic. Um, a marketing tactic. I think that's rather like that's just disheartening to um I don't know. It just feels very like you're not like that's a weird way to promote it and it's also I don't agree with that being like it's weird cuz it's like I just like I wish you would just promote it like a normal show and not try to like do this weird promotion where it's like saying, well, if you don't, or if you're a fan of Homelander, don't watch it or whatever, which is such a weird take, and a weird, like, I don't know. And plus, it's always hard to like I said, it's hard to differentiate the trolls when it comes to people that are saying that they like Homelander for his ideas and his stuff like that. Yeah, like it's hard to differentiate how many are trolls and how many are. I mean, also not only trolls at this point, but bots. Um, uh, when it comes to when it comes to uh, everything now with technology the way it is. But anyway, I've been talking way too much. And sorry I kind of like went off a little bit. Uh I like talk I do enjoy talking about shows and movies and stuff like that. Um and to an extent politics, but like also like not not talk like I don't like talking about politics. I like talking about like it in a general sense, not necessarily with like the candidates and stuff like that. It because that can get to a point where it's just like it's such a hateful point that it's just like I just don't agree with it. Um and honestly, I just don't understand why politics pulls so much negativity from the world. Um I just don't agree with that. Like it's such a weird thing that people yeah. I mean it's just such a weird thing to not like somebody just because of the politics. And that goes for either side of the political aisle. And again, why are there two sides of a political aisle? Why can't we have a third political party is a viable third option? Um,
Your safety is important to us.
that's
Report all transit
an
disruptions immediately.
actual party, not like two viable. I guess the libertarian is, but they're not viable. They're too small to really be a unified force. But yeah. Anyway, uh but anyway, that'll do it for this episode. Sorry, a big chunk of it was spent talking about the boys in politics, but uh, and just walking around this corridor. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you would like to hear more about that, I would definitely be interested in. Um, I probably won't get into politics that much. I think this is probably the extent I would want to get into politics, political talking on the internet, because it's not like, especially right now in this de- political time, it's not fun. It's just like it's so you got to watch what you say, and a lot of times and it's like I don't think any of my ideas or anything that I would say I wouldn't think that they would be potentially controversial. Ooh, I wouldn't think that. Oh well, I'll pick that up next time because I've wasted too much battery on my flashlight and stuff like that, walking around and messing around. But um, yeah, like, because I wouldn't really, like I said, I don't think any of my views are controversial, but you never know what somebody would think is controversial, you know? Uh, like I think most of my views are a bit moderate. Uh, when it comes to it, I'm more of a neutral, like I kind of believe in like neutrality, just like let people exist and like don't try to um yeah, and that goes for like in anything. um and that's why I don't really agree with either political party, because like a lot of times they get to a point where it's like they'll say like some things will say like, oh, we it's, but then well, some people will say that they want freedom and stuff like that, but then they want to control the way certain people live, and I'm like, that's weird. But yeah, I mean, there's like I just personally think there should be like, just in general, I think there should be limited government, but um like it shouldn't be as overbearing as it is. But honestly, like for a lot of that kind of stuff, it would take a lot. Like we would ironically need the government to say that we need less government oversight, and they're not going to do that. Like that's just how, at this point in time, we would need government to say, we would need um but the problem is like, I also believe that government should have oversight over certain things, like the way some corporations are abusing people. Well, not abusing people, but like, like exploiting wages, exploiting uh like their own system being like layoffs and stuff. Like, I don't know. There's a lot within the corporate world that could be addressed. Honestly, I feel like I said this before, the boys speech that in the most recent episode does a great job of explaining a lot of people's, I think my own frustrations included. um it does a great job of explaining everything wrong with the way with all the everything that I have a problem with when it comes to corporations and politics and the interweaving of those two. um I think it does a great job of explaining that, which is a really interesting opinion. I just don't know why. um and I think it's more of a, in my opinion, it's an opinion that I think the average person, and not just somebody that's on a one side of political aisle or the other, can agree with. Which is weird, that again, why the marketing team is gatekeeping the political, or gatekeeping this season, because of, I don't know, because of the way they like gatekeeping it from like that gatekeeping marketing strategy. It's just a weird situation when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, I've talked too much about politics right now, too much about a lot of stuff. I think it's time for me to be signing off. So like I said, I've got the uh Patreon of the animated series that I'm working on. It's on Twitch and YouTube. Um, and if there's any problems with that, and trying to, because I don't know, I think the payment should be set up, but I have no idea if it is or not. I think because I've got the page set up, so it should be good for everything. But as far as like, but if there's any problems, just let me know through YouTube or something. But I'll be doing that sometime, hopefully this year, later this year, will hopefully is what I'm planning on for a release. But I think, but yeah, there's that. I'd like to do, again, like I said, eventually I'd like to do more streaming stuff, potentially with other people. Hopefully I can get something in the works for potentially Anime August, but I don't quote me on that. uh, but yeah, so hopefully I can get some stuff going in that direction as well. Um, but I think there's that. So those are two things that I've wanted to discuss. I like the fact that I'm playing a game and it's not crashing every 5 seconds, so that's great. Um uh Although we did have that weird gun glitch earlier, but whatever. I'm okay with that. Um but yeah, I mean I think that'll do it for this stream. Sorry, a majority of it was just me walking around this and talking politics. I do like again some of that. Well, it's more about talk. I wanted to talk more about the boys, but it just kind of fell into that, like because that's kind of how it goes with talking about the boys. But yeah. Anyway, that'll do it for now. I think. Thanks for watching. If you're watching all the way to this end and you didn't tune out because the boys or the political discussion, thank you so much, and please leave a like and comment. Um, uh, and or if you're on Twitch, follow on Twitch. Um, and I think that'll do it. Thanks for watching, all you hatters, wherever you're watching. And as always, thanks for staying mad.